As a contractor in North Idaho, we experience seasonality like a lot of people in this country. You know, when it gets cold and the snow starts flying, work tends to slow down. Everybody moves inside. And for the last 10 years, I've been helping other contractors with their marketing. And at this point, we work with about 150 clients around the country. And so I get access to everybody's data. I get to see how many leads are coming in. And today I did a little report on the seasonality of organic leads for construction companies. And I wanted to see if it matched kind of what my instincts were. Like, it's everybody knows, at least if you're in the north, like everybody knows that spring picks up, and we all know it gets slow in the winter. That's nothing new, but it's really cool to see what the data says about this. So I looked across 28 different construction companies during 2025 to get an idea of what the data actually looked like. And what it shows is the slowest month is November, and the busiest month was April. April was 24% busier than average, and November was at 33% slower than average. So what does this mean? And why does this happen? Well, one of them's obvious. Like, weather is a huge thing. If you're doing work outside, or if you live in an area that it gets really cold and snowy and icy, like life tends to slow down. People tend to hibernate a little bit. So it's very normal to see everything ramp up in the spring. Happens in nature, also happens in the economy. November and December are really slow months, not just because of the weather, but because of the holidays. Nobody wants to do work on their home leading into Thanksgiving or leading into Christmas. And so that's a pretty normal thing to see, is like after the first week of November, everything seems to drop off across the board. Like, people are going into holiday season, and it's just the way it is. A lot of businesses don't slow down at all, though. And like for us, we've always done a lot of like interior work, bathroom remodels, things like that. And so we just prioritize those projects going into the fall. And we've always managed to stay pretty busy, but I would say that this chart pretty much represents how our construction company has always been. And we're okay with that. Like, we're okay with it being a little slower in the winter. That's just expected. What it means from a marketing standpoint. So, you know, a lot of people watch these videos, they find the link in the description, they talk to me or talk to somebody on my team, and oftentimes it happens here during peak season. And it comes from, you know, people are expecting the increase in jobs, but it just isn't happening. And so they go into kind of panic mode, and they're like, well, what do I do? I gotta invest in marketing. I've been putting this off for a long time. And the thing is marketing typically takes at least a few months to gain traction. It's not an instant gratification thing. There used to be more instant gratification methods, but those all got gobbled up by everybody. And these days, there's really nothing you can do to just get instant results. So things take time. And so if you're waiting until April, May, June to get started on things, you're kind of behind the 8 ball, because by the time your marketing ramps up, you're already heading into slower season. And maybe that's the goal, because you're trying to alleviate some of that slower season. But that's just something to keep in mind. Another thing to throw out there about marketing is, if you're thinking about making big moves, I like to do that in like November, December. So maybe like first week in November is when we start making some big moves. Like, we're going to completely overhaul the website, or we're going to take all the advertising spend from one place and try it in another. Like, if you're making big moves like that carry some risk, and you're afraid of losing the momentum you have, the safest time to try that or to do that is during the time of year where you're going to be slow anyways. You know, if you get all of your marketing in order November, December, January, and it starts to really take effect and pick up momentum February, March, you're going right in the busy season, and you're setting yourself up to have the best year possible. But, you know, if if you're experiencing this, just know you're not the only one. This is how it is for just about everyone. If your chart would look something like this, at least you know that there's 28 other contractors just like you experiencing the same thing. So don't sweat it too much. I think the best way to overcome things like that is to just think long term, plan ahead, find some stability in your marketing and your strategy so that you aren't trying to figure out what you're going to do next week, but you're just trying to figure out what you're going to do next year, and think on a longer time horizon, and so that you can just plan around the seasonalities that are inevitably going to come. So also, if you are experiencing a slow time, you want to figure out how to fix it, hit me up. There's a link in the description. I could get on a 20-minute call with you, take a look at your business, your market, and your competitors. And in a few minutes, I could tell what it would take to beat your competitors and get more customers. So check it out, and thanks for watching.